Hey, Dale, you there?
Hi, how you doing, Dave? Can you hear me? David?
There. Now can you hear me?
I'm sorry, say again?
Never mind, just checking in. I was getting this thing turned on. I was on another program with on a client. Never mind, never mind. I'm here
Okay.
and I've got popcorn.
Dinner?
Yeah. I ran out of the house still hungry.
Okay. Let's
Hey,
see.
Dan.
Daniel's there?
Dan's here, yep. Hey, Dan, I love the pictures you put in on the community page here. Very good.
I almost forgot to take some, but I like to take some for every meeting anyway.
That's a good thing. I'm very supportive of that. That's awesome. That worked out good.
By the way, my appointment that we made out in, I think the 29th of November, I finally got a call Saturday. For an
Okay.
appointment in about a week. Nashua, New Hampshire.
If you can't go, I can submit.
No, it's
41
37 miles. So they had first given me one for 100 miles away.
The company's based out of Texas, and to them, 35 miles is like a block. You know, there's no time, straight ahead, 90 miles an hour, no problem. They don't realize we have a lot of stoplights, traffic, and everything else. Oh, they're just trying to get back at us, you know?
But it took five months to get.
Well, you gonna go to it?
Yeah,
Okay, you'll get mileage. You'll get
Been up
mileage. Make a day out of it for you and Lois. Take it to dinner.
I'll take it over.
I hope you ate dinner, sir.
I did.
Oh. We got let's see. We still got a minute or two. We can hold on.
Arian,
Yeah,
did you get the Medal of Fidelity sent to your house yet?
nope.
Okay, if it comes here to my office, as I think all of them are coming here, I'll let you know right away. I know you're gonna be away Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah,
Are you gonna be leaving before Memorial Day? And if so, how much in advance?
I don't know, because I'll be here until the Friday, the morning of the Friday of Memorial Day. And
Okay.
I'm going to be away. I'm going to be away the 27th of this month until the 1st of May. We have to go up to Nova Scotia to just do some stuff with the cottage, with the work that's being done up there. So other than that, I'm around.
Okay.
So just
I'm
let me
just
know
hoping
what you want.
I'm hoping to get them to me because Jackie over there, Aguila, she's good. She's real good. And she said something
Yeah.
about you're gonna mail them all here, in which case I'll make sure you get it.
Well, I was told that Sarah Sweeney from Military Friends Foundation was setting something up for a bunch of us to go in and have it presented by the governor.
Even better.
So but I've never heard anything more than that one statement that she said she was going to try and set something up with the governor and Secretary Santiago to give them to us all. But
Well,
I've never heard
that's gonna-
anything since. So I'm holding any store to that.
Well, I hope it doesn't throw a wrench in the gears of what my thing is for Memorial Day.
Yeah, well, that's it. But like I said, I haven't heard another thing about it. So my gut tells me that it's not going to be arranged.
All right. That
You know,
well,
she's been busy with her fundraiser, the Tough Rock that we just did over the weekend and all that stuff. So I don't know if she's even had time to approach anybody to do that. And I would think they would let the various VSOs know anyway, if that was gonna happen.
I would hope so.
I would think.
yes. I would hope so.
Yeah, I would hope so too. That would be the nice thing to do.
Yeah. Here we go.
All right. Hey, are we ready to start the meeting? We can call it to order?
Sure.
Do we have a quorum?
8.
Think so.
Yeah,
Okay.
The only current members are Bill and Christie that aren't here, right?
Well, this is technically Sean and Michael's last meeting, but Christie and Bill are also absent.
Okay,
And Dale is here as a guest. His official first meeting is May.
okay.
So
So we have, I think we're good. We have more than half, right? We have
yeah,
5.
we have-
I'm
we have-
not David, we have 5, right?
yeah,
Yes.
so,
And then there's 4 missing. And Dale is not on yet, so I think we're good.
okay.
Make sure that members get sworn in at town hall.
Yeah, so let's go ahead and call the meeting to order here. And we'll,
okay, before you start, Paul, can I just say, I'm gonna have to leave early. So if I bugger off and you don't see me, I have to go to another meeting,
okay,
okay?
And
gotcha.
I would really like to end by 7:30 so I can catch my train out of the city.
I like that idea too. All right, so let's start with the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag
To the flag of the
of the United States of America
and
and
to the republic
which it
for
stands, one
one
nation,
nation,
under
under
God,
God,
indivisible,
indivisible,
liberty
with
and justice
and
for all.
justice for all.
For all.
All right. Thank you, everybody, for joining. The first thing on the agenda, do I have a motion to approve the minutes from March?
Motion to approve.
Second,
Second. Okay, all those in favor?
aye.
Aye.
The minutes pass. Thank you very much. Rob, you can post those and pass them along to Sherry. Thank you.
Will do.
Also, thank you for the work you did on the audit.
Oh, yep, sure, happy to.
All right, let's go to the VSO report. Dave, you're up.
Alrighty, Veterans Advisory Board VSO report, April 18th, 2023. The Wakefield Veterans Monthly Food Bank will be held tomorrow, April 19th, behind the Senior Center for those who have registered for the program. The Greater Boston Food Bank delivers the products to Melrose Memorial Hall, and the volunteers assemble the goods from Stoneham, Wakefield, Saugus, and North Andover. We in Wakefield currently have 27 participants, and the count is growing. The Wakefield Food Pantry also contributes paper supplies and toiletries to the program as well. Community awareness. There was a lacrosse game being held on April 26th at Landrigan Field, Hemlock Road, Wakefield, and the pregame time and ceremony will begin at 6 p.m. The Wakefield Warriors will be versing the Wilmington Wildcats, and the game is being dedicated as a salute to service for our veterans currently enlisted serving and those who will serve the nation. Tim Johnson, the coach of the Wakefield High School boys lacrosse team, is asking that all veterans and Gold Star families attend so they can be honored during this event. We will be accepting donations that will be packed by the Wakefield High School boys lacrosse program and shipped directly to our servicemen and women who are overseas. Items in need are toothbrushes, toothpaste, mouthwash, powder, shampoo, conditioner, deodorant, antiperspirant, baby wipes, granola bars, chewing gum, pocketable snacks, non-perishables, black boot socks. All donations can be dropped off at the Wakefield Town Hall are brought directly to the game. And as I have mentioned in the past, under Chapter 115 of Massachusetts General Laws, the Commonwealth provides a uniform program of financial and medical assistance for veterans and their dependents. Qualifying veterans and their dependents receive necessary financial assistance for food, shelter, clothing, fuel, and medical care in accordance with a formula that takes into consideration the number of dependents and income from all sources. The maximum income number in a family, family of one, is $2,265. A veteran or spouse with one other or two is $3,052 per month. The maximum asset, not counting the home, the vehicle, for a single person is $8,400. If they're married or a spouse, spouse is married, $16,600. As of January 1st, the PACT Act letters have gone out to any veterans or surviving spouses who have in the past were denied compensation for service-connected issues, up to and including death. For clarity on this issue, please contact the office and I can give you a more definitive explanation if you qualify. The Coffee Social. The Coffee Social was held this Saturday past, April 15th, here at the Senior Center, 30 Converse Street. We had 20 people attend, and our guest speaker was Victor Centaniello from the Assessor's Office to answer questions on the tax abatement and information on the Circuit Breaker program for seniors. Paul Cancelier, the Veterans Advisory Board chairperson, was also in attendance and raised awareness of the Memorial Day program at the Galvin Middle School and the flag placements at Lakeside and Forest Glade Cemetery. More information to be followed on the May VAB meeting. I'll give dates and times at that point, unless Paul may have them tonight if he wants to give them out here. Our next Veterans Coffee Social will be held on May 20th here at the Senior Center, the third Saturday, of course, the 30 Converse Street from 10 to 12. We'll be sharing information on several veteran outreach programs, as well as information on the PACT Act. American Battle Monuments Foundation PASS is a prologue essay contest that's coming up. Paul sent out an email on this, and I'm going to elaborate just a bit on it here. The PASS prologue essay contest invites students ages 11 to 12, 13 to 15, and 16 to 18 to compete within their age group to write an essay about a specific battle closely identified with the American military cemetery or monument overseas, managed by the American Battle Monuments Commission. The American Battle Monuments Foundation is an independent, not-for-profit organization and the official partner of the American Battle Monuments Commission. The winners will be announced by October 2nd, 2023. Participants in the contest is open to students ages 11 to 18 who compete against each other in their age group. There must be no older than 18 on the essay submission deadline, May 31st, 2023. Public, private, parochial, charter, military, and homeschools are welcome. Only essays written in English will be considered. The website for this is https://www.abmf.org/PAST-IS-PROLOGE/. You can contact my office or email me. That's a lot, I know. I can send this out in an email to anyone that contacts my office. It's that simple. Maybe we'll have this put into the item, the daily item on the Veterans Corner, maybe there's something to that effect. I'll contact them for that purpose. For appointments for my office, again, please contact me with any questions you may have regarding ongoing benefits or some resubmissions or submissions of new benefits. My office is located downstairs at the Senior Center, 30 Converse Street, Wakefield, and is by appointment only. Used to have walk-ins, but the 18 hours a week just can't handle the schedule the way it's going. So I do need to have people make appointments so I can map it out on a calendar to make sure they get the attention that's needed. The veteran service hours of operation are Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 8 a.m. to 2 p.m. Holidays on Monday hours will be Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday, 8 a.m. to 2. Voicemails are checked 7 days a week, 781-246-6377. Are there any questions at all?
Yeah, if I could just, on that scholarship, or not the scholarship, but on that essay, age 11 and 12, first prize is $5,000. The
Wow,
other two groups, first prize is $10,000. Okay, and there's two first prizes depending on which group you're in. And there are second place and third place prizes. So the way I like to say it, the juice is definitely worth the squeeze.
yeah.
That's a lot of money for a young adult.
I'm definitely gonna get this into the newspaper, Paul, at some point soon, probably next week. This week's kind of crazy. The first part of next week, I'll send it over to the item. And,
Fantastic. I
that'll
think
go.
yeah, that's fantastic. Anybody have any questions about the veterans, the VSO report?
Yeah, I have one if it's okay to speak
Good,
up.
Dale, go.
Absolutely.
I'm just curious, Dave, what is the status with your upping your hours from 18 to 30 at least?
That's gonna be a while. That's, people are aware of that. And I think that it's gonna take a while and a lot of shake, rattle, and roll to make it happen.
But who's
But
making that? Who's making that decision?
Well, that's gonna have to go through the district and the Boston office and Steve Mayo, and a collaboration with the Veterans Service Organization in Boston,
Yeah.
as far as breaking up the district, because currently it is a district of Saugus, Melrose, and Wakefield.
Right.
And what has to happen is, in what I understand, is in order to break up the district, it's going to depend on the amount of the population of the town, which when this was first started was considerably lower. And I think at this point in time, the population of the town of Wakefield will be sufficient to have a 40-hour-a-week position here.
Okay.
So stay tuned, news at 11. I've been putting together, I've been documenting the extra hours that I'm doing on my own, just as a backup, so that when the time comes, I'll have a historical record of the time compliance to make it work, I think.
Thank you.
So the next items that I want to cover here, we'll do new board members in May. Thank you, Dale, for joining. Their veterans outreach, just a little bit of a headline here to kind of echo the next Wednesday, we have the lacrosse game. That is a ceremony that will occur. I don't think that I'm going to pull the service flags out of town hall for that because it's an outdoor ceremony and I don't have enough people to take care of each one of those flags. That's kind of scheduled. That's a large task. There's 7 flags plus the American flag. So that's a total of 8 for the color guard. I think that's too much to do. But I encourage everybody to go to the game and go to the ceremony. I think what the coach has done is laudable and deserves a round of applause, and I appreciate what he's doing for veterans and military families. The other piece is the Wakefield Memorial High School has a Memorial Day assembly on Friday, May 26th in the morning. That's at 9 o'clock in the morning in the field house. I will ask DPW for some help moving the service flags for that indoor ceremony inside the field house. If you are able to attend, I encourage you to come and be there at 9 o'clock. Coffee and donuts will be there. It is a good ceremony to go to with all the students available there. They do get an early release on the weekend before Memorial Day. I don't know who the guest speaker will be. Good possibility. It could be myself or Jay Panett or Dave Mangan.
What time does that start, Paul?
We usually assemble about 9 o'clock, and they put us in the coffee and donut room. And while the students are getting
Yeah.
their final rehearsals done,
I'm gonna try and get one of the Gold Star wives from Wakefield to go, where I'm
Okay.
not gonna be here.
okay, that would be good. No, I appreciate that. Thank you.
You know if WCIT is gonna video that or?
Don't know if they're going to video the indoor ceremony.
Yeah, because they're next door, you know.
It's possible that they will, because they do videotape the games, the equipment. I think they leave it in the field house. So I met with them this past week. I did not ask them that question. Veterans Corner, Marion, thank you very much for that piece that you did last month at the end of the month there. I appreciated that, and I enjoyed reading it, and I got some good feedback about it. So thank you.
Good, good.
Still to do is the veterans discount article. And then the other is the one about the essay from the American Battlefield Monuments Foundation. And I'll add those to that list, and we'll get those into the item. The third one that I want to give to the item is just a list of activities for veterans that are ongoing in the month of May. And that's just a list of dates that, because we're talking about a lot of them here as we come up in May. Digital. So I just wanted to follow up. The next item is just information.
Can I, Dave?
Sure.
I'm sorry, Paul. Can we go back to the Wakefield High School, the guidance counselors and things like that? You'd said you'd mentioned to them and they agreed that there hadn't been any kind of recruiters or any kind of information that had been put in the high school. My son received, in the 95, 96 timeframe, information. And of course, he joined the Navy as soon as he came out of the high school. Is there any possibility of having some sort of either recruiters go into the school, or did they just mention that at all, or is it being considered, or can they put literature in the school where the students can see it?
They have literature in the school. I don't know if the recruiters have been going to the school, and I can only speak from what I know for the Army side of it and the National Guard side. The National Guard team covers the school, and the Army team is based out of the Navy base up there in Maine and Kittery.
Wow.
It's a very small team that consists of a senior NCO. I think he's actually a sergeant major. That's been there for about 2 or 3 years. Really, really good guy with his family, and they cover the New England states.
Wow. But
Okay,
it's a
yeah.
small group. So
Very
what
small
happened to
group.
all the recruiting things that were in the malls and things like that? Are those all gone?
I think they've consolidated and cut back, and they've also contracted.
I wonder if that's a reason why there's so little people joining the military.
That's a possibility. I can ask the question with the guidance team. I have as you mentioned, I was able to kind of break the ice with the guidance team.
Yeah.
And I do know that the information that I presented about scholarships, summer camp programs at service academies, and applications to service academies, some of that was met favorably, and there's one student that got accepted to go to one of those camps at the Service Academy at West Point this summer in June. So I'm also feeding the essay into them. They have that and they've received that, but this week is not a good week to contact the school because most of them are on vacation.
Right.
Yes, no, you can't do it this week, yes.
Yeah. So, but
But
the,
going forward, Paul, there are recruiters that are around here, not just in Maine. I know there's a place, I believe in Malden, and I think there's one, well, for the Navy.
yeah, they have,
The Navy, so.
they have the career,
There's two, I think.
they have the career centers that are set up. But if I recall, there was a career center on Route 1 that's no longer there for the United States Marine Corps. There's the career center that was up on 114 that was all services, and the career center in Malden was all services. Okay, I have not physically checked into those career centers,
Oh,
but
okay.
their staffs are very, very lean. To, you know, if you think about all the high schools, okay, they're not very deep to cover the area, and most of those career centers are covering several dozen schools. So it's a little bit tricky, you know, to get them to kind of sort of make the rounds and see the schools. And if they do get into the schools, they're there maybe once or twice, and once to introduce themselves, and then to come back and follow up, and that's about it. They don't have a lot of time. But Dale, I think it is an issue. It's something that is of concern to me, which is, you know, one thing that we can do. The senior ROTC programs usually have a recruiter that's assigned on their staff, and they can contact the schools if there are students that are interested in going the ROTC route and applying to those colleges and universities that offer ROTC. But the enlisted piece is really hurting right now.
Yeah, to me, it's part of the bigger problem of the lack of patriotism across the country. And it sounds like, you know, the military itself is shooting itself in the foot if it's cutting back, or maybe it's because they found there's so little interest out there. But
Well, I don't think the military is trying to cut back. I think the military is having trouble filling the slots.
fill in the slots, so.
Yeah.
The military person, they're recognizing the problem as well, and they're concerned about that. They're not getting more people joining the services.
Right.
They know that that's a problem, and they've
Yeah.
recognized that.
Yeah, but we don't know how they're addressing it. I mean, it doesn't sound like there's a lot going on from the recruiting area. Just my thought, okay? And maybe it's just the general malaise of patriotism that is causing the issue. I don't know. I don't know the full reason why. You know, this used to be a very patriotic country. People were happy to join, and you know, obviously it was the all volunteer when it first went in was very successful, and it's slowly gotten worse.
I like to think it still is a very patriotic country, and I think we're trying to do more with a lot less, and we're kind of sort of, you know, scraping the barrel right now, but it is an issue, and I think what you're going to see is supplementing by the reserves and supplementing, especially in the recruiting arena, with the reserves and supplementing with the National Guard. But again, even their ranks are not as robust as they once were. Okay. So what we can do is continue to speak positively about the military as a career, both enlisting and also, you know, pursuing a commission in the military in all branches of service. And part of the reason that we exist is to answer questions for the community and kind of lead those that have an interest in the military to those that can help them make the next steps. Okay.
Exactly.
To
I agree.
exploring that. So that is something that we can do.
I think sometimes we forget there's another school here in Wakefield, the Voc School. And there's kids there that have got, apprenticeships that could be very well, go into the Army or the Navy and get even further training with, financial support.
Absolutely. Very good, very good.
I agree with that. And Dan, you're absolutely right. The trades, they fit very, very well with many of the job skill requirements in the military, in the Navy, in the Air Force. There's a ton of maintenance jobs, a ton of communication jobs, very technical fields. And I was amazed at the engineering for when I was down in Florida in February, just to keep the engines running in the engine room, and the mechanics that are required to do that. It's pretty impressive. So I agree.
I mean, we talk about even the police and the fire departments are having trouble recruiting people. Both the Navy and the Army has firefighters. They have MPs. So, you could work yourself right into a position here in one of the towns.
The Air Force has a unit called Prime Beef that does something similar along those lines. And they do a little bit more, but yeah, I agree. I think that's something that we just need to raise our awareness and kind of be a little bit more sensitive about it when we see, those that are in education. And if you get a chance to talk to students, ask them if they've seen a recruiter from a military branch of service. It's not a bad question to ask.
Certainly isn't.
Any other discussion on that? All right. We did meet last week with Representative Lipper-Garabedian. I just wanted to kind of follow up on that. We didn't get into a lot of detail about the bills that are currently in flight, but she did talk to them. She had a wonderful panel that consisted of Secretary Santiago in his new role, and as the Executive Secretary for Veteran Services. They also had a representative from the National Guard Association, and they had a representative from Home Base that were on the panel. And thank you, Dan, for joining. I don't know if and Marion, you were there too.
Yep.
I only wish we would have had more time to ask them questions.
Me too.
Well, I actually followed up I followed up with the representative, and that was one of the things that I said. There should have been time dedicated to just going around and asking us questions.
Right.
But I thought the caliber of panelists that she had brought into that forum was very impressive.
Excellent. Yeah, very good.
I want to talk about the Memorial Day program if I can. Memorial Day is on Monday, the 29th of May. The agenda says it's on May 31st. We need to correct that. The ceremony starts at 1 o'clock. And just a little bit of kind of getting ready for that ceremony. Dave did mention that we do have the flags available. We will do Lakeside Cemetery on Monday, the 22nd of May at 3 o'clock. That's Monday at 22nd of May at 3 o'clock. I'll send out an invitation to the local Boy Scouts, the Girl Scouts, and some of them to come in to help us with the flags. We usually do a simple ceremony, which is nothing more than the Pledge of Allegiance. We meet by the flag at Lakeside Cemetery. And then after we do the Pledge of Allegiance, we'll go ahead and distribute the flags. We'll do Forest Glade Cemetery on Friday afternoon at 3 o'clock in the afternoon. And that's May 26th. And we'll do the same thing. We meet there at the flag. We'll do a quick ceremony and then go ahead and distribute the flags to those that are there to put them in the ground.
Do we have the flags or does the American Legion still have them?
We have the flags. Dave Mengen has the flags upstairs.
Oh, you do, good. I've tried to call Tom twice and he's never returned my call.
Really?
Yeah. I'd like to see Tom or anybody down there, Bill, just if they can stand there, just to be there. Because I want them part of this. They have been for years.
I am in touch with John.
Oh, right,
Maybe I can get through to Tom through John.
yeah,
We get them at Lakeside, we'll guarantee to have them for Forest Glade.
Yeah,
That's the spirit, and then we'll be built up, I think. On the flags, Paul, for Monday, for Lakeside, at 3 o'clock, did you want to pick up the flags here with your vehicle?
yeah, I can pick them up with my vehicle there.
You want to do the day before, or you want to do it that day around 2 o'clock?
We'll do it that day around 2 o'clock.
Okay, good.
Yeah. That worked out well last year. We didn't have too much trouble.
Yeah.
I'll pack a couple extra chairs in there too, because there's a few people that like to sit around. Standing is a little bit tough for some of them.
I'll make sure the Civil War folks get their flags too. They can come here and pick them up. I'll bring them downstairs for
Okay. That would be good. Thank you.
Is that put in the paper like the week before? Or?
Well, we
So
got
they-
plenty, yes, we got plenty of time to put that in the paper.
Okay.
Do we have any high school kids that are involved or anything like that?
We typically have the Boy Scouts and the Girl Scouts who come and help out. Most of the high school kids are either engaged in some sort of after-school activity or on a 3-day weekend are probably off. They're, they may not be able, you may not be able to grab them too quick.
Okay.
But the scouts are usually there and we can count on them and their assistance.
Okay.
This might be a spot that we can get a hold of our liaison from the youth council and maybe mention that.
Great idea. That's a great idea. I saw something that I think they change over to the youth council, just like they do the town council in May. So we may have a new youth council person. I don't know that. Could you follow up on that, Dan?
I can try to. I don't know who's in charge, really.
Okay.
Is it Catherine that's in charge? Catherine?
Yes.
Yes. Catherine's in charge of the youth council.
I have her email. Dan, want me to send it to you?
Yeah.
So one question that I do have, I don't know how many wreaths we need for the Memorial Day ceremony. And I'm thinking we usually get the one that gets presented during the ceremony and presented on the stage. And then after the ceremony, we bring that over to the War Memorial, the World War II Memorial, and it stays in front of the World War II Memorial. This year, do we want to have a wreath in front of the Veterans Field also?
yes. Or I vote yes.
I'll second that.
Thanks, Dan.
We need a motion first before we can vote.
Oh.
But so that was just a thought that I had as I kind of drive around town and look at the memorials that we have. So there's a motion to put a second wreath in front of the Veterans Field, in front of the sign there. And it's been, and I think we've had a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I
Okay,
can't vote.
Good for us, Dan.
so we'll do a yes on that. Dave Mangan,
Yep.
do you wanna- where did we purchase the wreaths last year?
Oh, I'll have to look up in my records. I forget. It's in here. I can get it. The breeze.
Okay. And you have the funds to cover that, correct?
Yes.
Okay.
How many do you want? 2, Paul?
2. We'll do
Okay.
Vets Field and the Memorial.
Memorial Hall?
No, well, we'll bring one into the ceremony. And then after the ceremony on Memorial Day, we'll bring that out to the War Memorial and put it out in front of the War Memorial.
And the other one?
The other one goes in front of Vets Field.
Best Field. Good, good, good.
Yeah.
Not just money, but shouldn't we do it something at Lakeside and Forest Glade, that's where our veterans are?
All the
Well, we got-
flags are doing that.
We got the flags going in there.
Flags out, right.
And
I
the
don't-
reasons at the Veterans Field and the Veterans Memorial in the park are more visible to everyday people, seeing them going by in their cars at the cemetery, just that one day probably,
Right.
or a couple of days thereafter. Visibility wise, I think the 2 being at those locations, Dan, are just more visible, I guess you'd say, where the flags would be for each family member. And as I said, it's like 2,500 flags will be putting out in the 2 cemeteries.
So the other thing I did notice, speaking of the cemeteries, in front of Lakeside Cemetery, the flag stands that we used to have with the service seals on them,
Yep.
they're gone on the outside. I don't know if DPW picked them up.
That stuff we're getting, Paul, might have some of those in it, that donation and stuff. I think might have some of that stuff in there.
Yeah, okay, so we'll take a look. You might be right.
There's a lot of stuff. in there.
Oh, I know there's a lot there that we can go through, but we'll come up with something.
Yeah, I think by the World War II monument too, we used to have the service ones. I don't know if those are still there.
The World War II monument, the service stands for the flags are still there.
Okay.
Okay. Just an update on the ceremony itself for Memorial Day. Pastor Douglas Dry, who is the First Baptist pastor, is going to be the chaplain for the day. And I also have a confirmation from Troop 701, the Boy Scouts. They will do they're going to post the colors and retire the colors. The other thing that I'll share with you, I did meet with Jennifer McDonald, and I also met with WCAT last week to put together the program for Memorial Day. WCAT will record it, but we're also going to try to do something along the lines of what Dan and Miriam were talking about inside the Galvin Middle School. We're going to close off that front door, the first entrance to the auditorium. And what I'd like to do is have the public enter the auditorium, passing the memorial, all the pictures and photographs of the fallen. And they go into the second door, okay? And what I'm trying to replicate here is an opportunity for them to take 21 steps and understand what that means. But I'm going to work with WCAT, and I'm researching 21 different names, and it's just random out of the 161 that have fallen. and I'm putting together in the first person scripts that we can read, and WCAT will record them. If you would like to write one or read one, or write and read one, if you could let me know on a separate email, that would be appreciated. And we're going to coordinate that with WCAT. And here's what we're going to do with that voice. Miriam and Dan had suggested that there be a QR code on each one of those pictures. Okay, so that a student can actually use their iPhone when they go to school, put it up to the QR code and get some sort of a story about the person that's in the photograph. But before you get to the QR code, you got to have the content. And what WCAT is going to do is, by recording that information, when they walk past the first door to go to the second door, we will have the audio looped that will tell some of those stories. And we'll loop the 21 stories, okay, as they pass by the pictures and the photographs. Okay. So it'll be a solemn parade or solemn walk, silence, okay, and before they get into the auditorium to help
Is this
them read.
thing- this for this Memorial Day, Paul?
Yes, I've already started the work. My goal is I need to do 3 per day for the next week. I'm a little behind on that, but I've also figured out that a lot of the content is already printed in the Wakefield item dated 1943, 1944, and 1945. And I just have to lift it out of the Wakefield daily item, and we just have to put it into a script, and they have to be read. We have more than enough people that are willing to read them. Okay. The long pole in the tent, as we like to say, is actually putting that together and writing them out. It's not I don't mind doing the work. But if you'd like to get involved in it, what I enjoy about it, for example, Robert Ewell, who the Ewell School is named after, just around the corner from where I live. I did not know this, but he passed away in the Hertigan Forest in World War II. I didn't know this, but his family lived on 120. I forget the name of the street now, where Temple Emmanuel is. The Ewell family lived in yeah, right there by where you live. They turned the property over to Temple Emmanuel. Okay, I didn't know it was, and it's the same family. I found that fascinating. Okay, when I read that. Robert Ewell never came back. He's buried overseas in the Netherlands, and his brother went to visit the grave when he passed away in World War II. He was also serving, but there's just a lot of good detailed information about our community that can be pulled out and shared in that reading about the individuals.
So do you want like a biography? About what we're looking for is a biography of just their military experience, or about the whole, the whole person's life, the whole person's whole life.
It's a little bit of both.
Yeah.
Okay. And so what
in Joseph Elavia that is on the wall.
Yep.
I would like to, if it's all right, approach his dad, who's a retired lieutenant colonel, and ask him to write it up. He would do a fantastic job.
Okay, yes, he would. And he's a former teacher too, an educator.
Yes, he is. Yeah.
Paul, you want to make this 1-minute segments, right? Each one 1 minute? A lot can be said in 60 seconds.
Yeah, a lot can be said in a minute. I'm looking for about a page, single line, no more than 1 page, about the size, not to exceed the size of what an obituary would read. And in fact, you can take the obituary, and if you can write it in the first person, and here's where I'm coming from. It's important that it's written in the first person. and it can be the voice of the soldier themselves, or it could be the voice of a family member, a brother, sister, mother, or father, to talk about their son or their daughter, okay? And it's important that it's in the first person. You know, I graduated from Wakefield High School in 1938. I attended the Advanced Infantry School, you know, at Fort Jackson. I was assigned to the 101st Infantry Division. You know, that's the kind of piece that I'm talking about in first person. And it brings it into the more personal piece. It almost sounds as though the individual is talking. If the segment is written from the parent's perspective, okay, my son graduated from Wakefield High School in 1936. My son went into the Navy in 1941 and sailed on this particular ship. And we wrote frequently, and he was able to come home for Christmas or, you know, whatever. But the personal pieces about the son and the daughter, okay? Try to eliminate the, he was a good guy, he was a soldier, he did serve type thing. Make it first person and bring it to life, okay, in doing that. And I'm not concerned about the detail on how it gets read in terms of the voice fluctuation and everything else. It's going to be broken. I also am looking for young students to help us to do some of this too, with the social studies group. Okay.
I
So
think it's way, yeah, some of this is, if you've ever seen the National Memorial Day concert they show on TV from Washington, they say similar things about certain things, and it's very moving, very moving.
exactly. That's exactly where I'm coming from. And they did this at Fort Belvoir at the Army Museum in the Hall of Heroes, which are the Medal of Honor recipients. And when you look at one of the Medal of Honor recipients, you hear the voice of the individual, okay, and they're talking to you as though they're, you know, right there with you. They've also done this type of process in the 9/11 memorial, okay? You know, I went to work this day and this is what I was about to do. And I, you know, got my cup of coffee and the planes hit. And then I started to evacuate my fellow workers and things. A very, very moving type of an approach to send it off. WCAT loves it, okay? With their help, we have plenty of people to read it. I'm limiting it this year to just 21. Eventually, we can get to the 161. Okay, there's more to do in the future. Okay, there always will be. But 21 is kind of the limit this year to go ahead and put that together for the memorial. And if you have any suggestions on and you want to pick up one or two of them, just send me an email and I'll add you to the list, okay, and kind of read you in on what to do with the information and material. It's not very difficult. It's actually, for me, it's entertaining. I enjoy it because I'm learning more about my community, and I'm learning a lot more about those who didn't make it back home, which is fulfilling for me.
I apologize, but I am going to have to leave. So,
Okay.
Thank you, and I will see you next month or before.
Yes,
Marion,
thank you very much.
All right.
See you at the club, Marion.
Right. See you later.
Take care.
Um,
Are you going to have a corridor set up like stanchions so that so people just don't walk past it, you know, on the opposite side of the corridor, that they've got to sort of walk down it a little bit?
I was thinking about something, I don't know what to call them, but we used to use them in the banks, you know, to line up to get to the tellers.
Exactly.
Yeah. I don't know where to get those. So
I'll look into that. I'll look into it and what we can get.
okay. I mean, we might be able to lay out, you know, some sort of like a rice paper or something to kind of sort of guide the public down. But I'm okay if the public just meanders.
Well,
It,
I agree entirely, but my concern is that the majority of them don't go anywhere near that side of the wall. They just walk either the center or over to the right-hand side of the corridor and just walk into the next door.
yeah, and I think, which is why I want to bring it, that the voices are going to change that.
Yes,
That's my hope.
I think they will. Yes. I think they will.
Yeah, and that's what I'm trying to accomplish. So if I succeed, they live. If I don't succeed, I got to keep trying.
Paul, I'm gonna be down to WCAT, I think Thursday afternoon, so if you got anything that needs to be, the Ryan,
I got a couple that I'll send down there. I'm gonna work on a few more tomorrow morning, and I'll send a few over to Ryan and Ian. Ryan and Ian are the people that I'm dealing with at WCAT to put this together. I don't want to get too many people involved in it, because then we're going to lose track of the data. Okay, but to your point, this is where we need to go with the QR code. And I'm trying to build the content so that all we need to do is, in the future, is just slap the QR code on there, and the students can have access to that story when they get in there for the future.
well, one that isn't at the Galvin School, but could do something similar to what a QR code is in the lobby of the town hall itself. And Manigan, who was the Medal of Honor recipient from Wakefield.
That's another one.
Yeah.
That is one we're going to add to the voices. Yes, that's on my list of 21. Absolutely. And he was one heck of a tank killer. in the
Yes,
Korean War.
yes.
Any other questions about that? Okay, I do need somebody to hang on. I'm gonna need some help in the Memorial Day program. I don't need an answer tonight, but I am looking for somebody to help guide the reading of the 161 names. Robert, you've done it in the past. I still have that script. You're welcome to do it again if you'd like to, or to pass.
Thank you. Somebody else's turn.
Okay. So we will read the 161 names as part of the ceremony. I also will need somebody to read the proclamation. And Dave, I think you get the proclamation for us.
Yeah, I'm gonna send for that, yeah.
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 for the governor's
I'm
office.
happy to read that. I've done that before.
Proclamation.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Okay. You're on, Rob. Thank you. Anybody interested in reading just guiding the reading of the 161 names?
Yeah, I'll help with that. That's no
Yeah.
problem. Yeah.
Yeah, I'll send that to you, Dale.
Not to sign him up for anything, but Bill might be able to help too, because he has the firemen and the bell and all that. He might be able to help too.
By the way, yeah, if you do I have not heard back from the deputy fire chief or Mr. Kern, I guess it's Lieutenant Kern, who usually brings the bell. I just got to keep emailing. I've walked over to the fire department. I haven't been able to find them. I can't get into the place. Nobody's at the front desk. I'm like, where is everybody? So,
Full of fire.
I know they're there. It's just I haven't connected with them yet. But we do want the bell because we're going to do the bells of peace at the beginning of the program, and then we'll do the bell when we read the names.
Well, once the agenda is together for that day, I'll print out about 100 copies here. All right, and I'll bring them over that day.
Yeah,
And you're going to, I'm gonna bring the medals. I'll be awarding the medals to the spouses. They'll be on stage with us once we confirm all that and get it set up. And I'll be awarding, but you'll be reading off the names of the victim, of the veterans who passed.
okay,
All right, and I'll put something together for that.
that works for me. That's good. Thank you.
Parker Florist is the place we got the wreaths from. I'll put the order in for those, probably about the first week in May.
Okay,
And get a price on it and get the receipt and everything else and submit it.
thank you. There's two events that are coming up in June. I don't want to get into details about them, but the one that we always support is the flag ceremony at the Upper Common that the Boy Scouts do. And they do a marvelous job of retiring the flags and decommissioning the flags that are no longer serviceable. I would encourage that you plan to go. It's usually about 6 o'clock behind the World War II Memorial. Very simple ceremony. Okay. At this time, I just want to say, I know they're not here, but a personal thanks to Sean McGrath and also Michael Owen for their service on the board. If you see them around town, please thank them for their service to the community as a veteran and a member of the advisory board. They did make the meetings and their inputs were important, and I appreciate their support. Okay, and I just want to I'll take a moment and give them a special thank you after this meeting. On a personal note, I left the item other business. Dale, this pertains to you and those that are reappointed. Sherry Dalton and the town administration has done a super job at giving us a handbook. I encourage you to read the 28 pages. One of the items that's in the 28 pages is don't put other business on your agendas because it's too vague. They would like specific items on the agendas, okay, in the future. So that'll be the last time that we see that. And I encourage you, if you haven't had a chance to do the ethics test,
No, I finished it.
yeah, just
And I've read through about half of the handbook. It put me to sleep, but other than that.
well,
It's 28 pages.
it's a lot of work to do that, and I
Yeah.
appreciate the I do deeply appreciate the effort because there really was not much before to kind of sort of go on. And if you don't have a copy of that material and you'd like to have a copy of it, I'd be glad to send it to you. Or Sherry.
You're talking about the handbook?
Yeah.
Okay. No, I have a copy of it.
Okay. But anyway, there's some good material in there and it was well done. And I just thank you to the town hall and those who put that together for the guidance. I appreciate that. I don't have anything else on the agenda. So before we cut, is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion.
Second,
All those in favor?
aye.
Aye. Okay. Thank you very much, gentlemen. I appreciate your support. Have a great day.
Thank you.
You too.
Thanks,
Take care.
everyone.
Thank you, everybody.